Welcome to Do the Talk podcast. This is your podcast. At Do the Talk, we teach regular people how to invest in real estate. My name is Ibrahim. I am your host tonight, and my co-host is Ahmed Lawal. We are committed to make sure real estate investment is seamless as much as possible. If you would like to learn and grow in real estate investment, you have come to the right place. Today is Friday. Ahmed, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Ibrahim. It's a pleasure being on here with you again. Guys, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you. And like we always say, every Friday on this podcast, uh, what we preach here, which is real estate investing, it is not get rich quick scheme. You can put in the work, and we can guarantee that you will see the results if you do it right. However, you have to put in the work. You have to work it for it to work for you.
Yes.
Without further delay, what we will be discussing today is something that's hearing it. If you are not in the arena, if you are not in real estate, you might think it doesn't exist. Oh, why would someone do this? I don't think it's something that existed. However, it is real. Mostly even in real estate. It is very, very real, and it is something that is concerning with the rate at which it is growing. We will be talking about real estate fraud today. This is something that you not even might, you want to listen to. This is one of those episodes that I always admonish you to listen to because like we always say, real estate investing is lucrative, but it can be costly. However, that costly comes with knowledge gap. If you don't have the knowledge, then you are prone to all these errors that we see around. And trust me, we've all been there. That is why we are capable to sit in front of you today and discuss all these things with you. We've all experienced it in some sort of ways. I'm going to share my experience today as well as Ibrahim. So, Ibrahim,
Yeah.
I know it really, really sounds like it's good truth. It's not possible,
Mhm.
but it is something that actually happened in real time. As we speak, it's still happening.
Mhm.
Uh, but can you get us started on what is real estate fraud and how does it even happen?
Yeah. So, so thank you. First, I want to thank our audience for showing up tonight. It's always a pleasure to see people coming in, try to listen to us, and we appreciate your participation. Please share this podcast with your friends, your family. Today is another Friday, and I'm excited to be here to talk about mortgage fraud and different tactics and different ways that scammers or people are able to commit mortgage fraud. This is first of all, this is a it is illegal, of course. It is a federal offense. So we want you guys to be aware of it and see how you can, stay away from it, because it can really put you in a big trouble with the federal government. Um, Now let's look at different kind of mortgage fraud and what are the tactics and the way that people utilize this unpleasant and this unfair tactics to be able to get especially scam people. So the first one I want us to look at is someone is trying to sell someone else property. You know, it's still considered mortgage fraud, but this one is mainly um, not really towards the government, like getting a loan or anything. It's like somebody is falsifying someone else's identity. And when that person succeed in falsifying that person's identity, he or she moves forward to also sell that victim property. How do they do this? How is this possible? it is a big question that, if you don't know about it, it sounds like it's too, you know, unrealistic, just because we have different bodies. When I mean bodies, different profession, different parastatals that are there to ensure this won't happen. But the truth is, we all human. I mean, there are a lot of angles that people create ways, they strategize, they look for a loophole, an avenue where they can overrun the system to negatively, to their advantage. So where am I going to? I'm saying, even though we have title company, even though we have real estate attorney, even though we have appraisers, even though we have inspectors, even though we have a loan company, and the loan company has an underwriter, we have the loan officer, we have the real estate agent, we have all this real estate professional in place to kind of make sure there's no mortgage fraud or anything suspicious that can hurt someone else or other party. At the same time, some people with bad intention, or people that into this illegal activity, they always find a way. They are very they are very creative negatively. They know how to undermine the system and try to create a ways to fraud either an individual, the bank, the corporation, and all that. So I let me go straight to how this can be done. Okay, so if an individual successfully stole someone else's identity, and if he or she realizes that that person owns a land or owns a property, that individual can actually go to the city county website, the auditor office, and get the information about the parcel. The parcel means the registered file of that victim property in the city, catalog, or the city property, um, the spot where the city catalog, or the city registration for that person property. That's what is called parcel. So parcel, when you know someone else parcel's number, or if you know your parcel number, that parcel number is going to show detailed information about that property, be it land, be it house, be it commercial property, private, residential, anything about that property is gonna come out. And at the same time, your name, the day you bought the property, the taxes, the square footage, how when next your taxes will be due. A lot of critical information will come out when you know that parcel number. So these people, and the fact that those records are public record, especially in the US. I don't know about any other country. We are using US as an example here. So this person, this criminal, I should say, they will go online, get that person information from the city county office, auditor office. When they get those information, then they will try to approach another person to sell that property for them. In most cases, they will try to approach a real estate agent. Okay. The reason why they will try to approach a real estate agent, they want it to go fast, and they want it to go to make they want to make it look legal as much as possible. If they approach, an investor, a wholesaler, it's still possible to sell it, but it might look a little more suspicious from the title side, because now the title look at it as, okay, this person selling it is an individual. He approach an wholesaler, or an investor who can just help him or her to sell it. Okay, and the fact that they don't come in physically, because they don't want their identity, the real identity, to show up. Like they don't want it, the title company to realize that their real picture, their real image, physical image, does not, their face actually does not match or do not match the ID. So I'm using singular and plural because it can be two people, it can be one person, it can be five people, it doesn't matter. Okay, it can be two people trying to do this, it can be one on the parcel. If the parcel is owned by an husband and wife, the scammers are gonna act like married couple. You're gonna talk to like male and female. They'll act like they are the one that own the land. That way, or the property. That way, it looks like yes, it's even. Not like, okay, why would James wanted to sell a property owned by James and Laura? So they're gonna act like Laura and James. Okay, so back to the main discussion. So they will act like, depending on one or two, if it's one person or two people, they'll act like whoever owns the land. Then, because they don't want their face to be recognized, they don't want title to know, they will try to do a overnight mail, no, overnight notary and delivery. So what does that mean, or how do they do that? So from the beginning, they will be kind of into the route of that. Okay, I'm in so place. I'm not gonna be able to make it because maybe I'm going to Dubai next week and I might stay there. It will take a while, or I'm going to New Jersey. This is that, and the realtor, then they'll tell you, okay, what I would like you to do is to do mailing document. Like you mail it to me, I'm gonna notarize it from an authorized and licensed notary, and I will 24 hours is back to you, like overnight it back to you. Okay, now pass that message. They want you to pass that same message to the title company, because at that point you are representing them and the title company. I mean, you represent them. You are like the middle person that is communicating with the title and the seller. Okay, so if when you do that, their hope is that you're gonna tell the title will be okay with that. Is that illegal? No, it's okay. If the person owns the property for real, it is okay to do notary 24 hours. It is okay. It is normal. In fact, it's common. It used to be common, but now there are other ways. They've developed another way, which is online notary. But these people, they'll try to avoid that because online notary will get some kind of information about the real owner that they don't know. Okay, and this is where they get them: previous address, social number. Sometimes they know the social number, but that person, as a friend, as a family, as went to, like, if that person has been to a college in the US or anything, all those extra stuff, it's hard for someone to get it right if you are not, if you don't know that person like blood, like family, like, it's really hard. So the online notary usually fish out this illegal activity. Okay, but what the scammer would like to do, they'll try to avoid it. They would like you to convince the title company in a way that the title will accept them to do the whole method, which is send the document to them in their email. They will notarize it and send it back. Now, if they are going to notarize it legally for real, then we'll be fine, because the notary will make sure that that person is the real person. However, they have found a way to create fake notary. In most cases, they will steal the identity of a notary. So it's like they steal identity of the real owner. Now they'll steal the identity of a notary as well, and act like that same person will act like a notary and stamp the document, create the same kind of stamp, the same everything. Before you know it, they will sign the document, notarize it, send it back to the title, and title will finalize the sale. the new owner will be thinking, okay, he or she got a land or he or she got a new property, not realizing that the real owner is not aware of the sale, or she's not, or they are not aware of the sale. Guess what? The new owner will be, showing document. Oh, I own this land. Da, da, da. The title will send that information to the city, the auditor's office. They're gonna change the name of the owner because the title at that point, the city will believe the title company because they thought everything is being checked, everything is good, no issue. They'll record a new owner for that property. Now the real owner may find out maybe when he or she they want to sell the land, then they will try to, oh, this is my land, and the city will be telling, hold on, you sold it 2 years ago, or hold on, you sold it last week, or hold on, you sold it 5 years ago, depending on when he or she or they discovered that something is wrong with their parcel. Because now the parcel will be the same, however, the name, the owner of that parcel will change.
Yep.
Now, in this case, who's at fault? It's really crazy. No, the truth is, no one is really at fault. I asked that question intentionally. The reason why I said that is because when a identity, theft or a scammer approach someone and say, "Hey, I want to sell this land," they will give you the parcel number. They give you the name of that person. They give you the address. They give you all those stuff. It is not easy to detect the real owner because you ask for the ID, they send you a ID. Of course, they're gonna send you a fake ID because they will change the picture. With this AI and everything, trust me, they will change the picture of the real, like they'll put the real picture of the owner, excuse me, on that ID, same address. And by the way, how would you know the real picture of the owner if you don't know the owner? So, but they will send it something to you that will say that name, that will correlate with the address of the real owner. So it's hard to know. But a way for you to really, detect that something might be going on is their tactics, their strategy, which is the way they are talking to you. They want everything to go so fast and smooth. They will, when the conversation will be mostly around, oh, make sure you let them know I'm not around. Make sure, um, make sure we sell this house cash, or make sure we send this land cash, and all that. Now on the title company side, they have a method to make sure this person is the right person, which is the notary. And paper notary is legal. Of course, it's not perfect. And that was why they came up with different strategy to see how they can, checkmate or discover any kind of illegal stuff that might be going on, or to improve the notary system. However, these scammers, they would like to go back to the old method because they know there's a loophole. The loophole is all they have to do is to, you know, steal the identity of a real notary. So anyway, what we are trying to let you guys know is that whichever angle you are in the scenario, or you might be in the future, just when you are trying to buy property, try to make sure that you don't get to you are not you try to make sure that you protect your side and you don't become a victim by making sure that the transaction is done in a way where the seller, you can see the seller, not the seller. Oh, the seller is out of town, the seller is not coming, and when you're ready to sign, you don't see, any appearance, and they're telling you the seller will send the document tomorrow and all that stuff. You don't want that. Okay, you want a situation where it's either you see the seller that very day you sign the document, or you do like a video instead of physical, or you've seen the seller before the day you sign the document, and do not accept an overnight notary from the seller or something, because you want the real person that owns the property to sign the document, not someone else. Okay, so the title company are improving. They are trying to make sure this doesn't happen, but trust me, it is very common, and because no system is perfect. Okay, so we want you guys to be aware and try to make sure you stay away from that, or make sure you, whatever transaction you want to initiate in concerning real estate, make sure you do it right. Talk to people that knows how to, if you sense any foul play, you sensing someone is, the seller is acting like they are not gonna be there, or you sensing them, the way they talk to you is like they're not sure about the property, they don't know about it. It's like they are trying to just act like the owner. Make sure you get an attorney. Make sure you get the title company. Explain to them how you feel about the whole thing. No, they're not perfect. If they hear your point, they will try to assess it and see if that person is truly the owner or not. So be careful, be be observant, and do not just sign any document. Make sure it is the right document before you sign it. Ahmed, let me just go over one more thing. The reason why I really elaborate on this is because a lot of us, we buy property, and we don't want, I don't want situation where any of our audience or someone they know run into this kind of issue, because online notary or paper notary is legal, it's allowed, but they have to make sure, or they know that that same paper notary can be uh, jeopardized, can be altered, can be faked, can be they can dupe them through that legal strategy. Oh no, sorry, that legal method of closing a property. So the next one I want to talk about real quick is mortgage fraud. I'm just gonna mention one of it. There are a lot of it, but I'm gonna mention one of it. So, for example, if you want to buy a property, and you are living in one, and you buy the second one, and you know that the first one you bought is your primary resident, the second one is not your primary resident. If you claim it's your primary resident, it is also further fraud, because now it's like you are trying to cut your down payment, and you want to get into the second property, instead of just saying, okay, it's for investment and all that. So it's a kind of mortgage fraud. Just we just want you to be aware of that. Stay away from it as much as you can. Ahmed, I think those are the two I want to really go over tonight. So what do you have for us, please?
So, before I let you go, Ibrahim, thank you so much. You've been talking for like 25 minutes straight, and that's remarkable. And everything you've said is true. Because like, if you are not really into real estate that much, you would think, okay, how can someone sell other people's house? It is easy in US because everything is public data, and people can easily see all your information and copy everything and make a fake ID to go ahead and sell your house. My question to you, Ibrahim, before I let you relax, is this, can this be done to a house that I'm living in?
Yeah.
Can people sell my house without me knowing?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, definitely people can. So what they do in that case, when they are trying to sell someone else that you're actually living there, they will take a picture of the outside of the house, or they will do no picture and list the address, the house on the MLS. Now, the Real Estate Commission, they've also improved. They've tried different ways to, kind of reduce or prevent this kind of fraud. So there's a kind of regulation where when you want to list a house on the DLC, you have to, the first picture has to be the exterior, okay? And you can put any other picture, but at least the exterior has to be there. That way, if anybody should sees it, they can easily recognize that, oh, okay, this is somebody's house. That is if your friend, family, and neighbors and coworkers should, who knows your house, you see it, she sees it, they can tell that this is not. I mean, in that process, they might be able to contact you and like, hey, do you want to sell your house? Something like that. Now,
Yeah.
what do they do? These people, they will try to do no picture, okay, and they'll make it look like it's a seller that is not comfortable, posting his or the house picture on the BLC. And what about showing? They're gonna try to act like, okay, so this property, it is as is, and currently, just because of the schedule of the seller, they not really comfortable making people coming in and all that. But what they can do is that if they should put in a good offer, the seller will let them see the property before they move out. Okay, cash offer is preferable, and let it whoever close fast, like as soon as possible, as soon as the no the quicker the closing, the better for you. Okay, so some people will put in the offer, of course, just because they want that property. Because the reason is because a house of 300,000, they probably won't list it for 300. They're gonna list it like maybe 220, you know,
Mm-hmm.
190. So whoever is so desperate without looking at the house, they probably would just show you the whole, because every home, the VLC always save the previous pictures. Even the
Yeah.
the big brokerages like Zillow, Redfin, and all that. So they're probably gonna just show you the whole pictures and say you cannot do showing just because the seller is not comfortable with this, is that. So they will say it's as is, and for, believe it or not, some people will fall for that just because the equity is too good to be true. Like it's just
Yeah.
so good, you know.
Yeah.
Um, in that sense, if it's really real, that buyer is cashing out a huge chunk of money. So
Yeah.
if you are too greedy, you might fall for that. You initiate the contract, you say you're gonna close in a week or two, you pay cash. Now a day before you go to the house, I mean they've agreed from the beginning, they will agree that you're gonna see the house. Now a day before, the agent might call you and say, "Oh, my bad. So the seller actually wanted to travel to Michigan, but unfortunately, she forgot to lock the door. The key is not there, or this or that, or um, our daughter took the key and she's supposed to come back today, but there's a plane delay in Michigan. This is that. They're gonna create a scenario that prevent the buyer to see the house a day before. Okay. Now, the buyer, that's in that scenario, most likely they'll be thinking, okay, after closing, I'll go to the house, and that's it. Okay. Now these
Yep.
people will close on the deal and they will try to disappear. Now,
Yep.
will they catch them after that? Will the police do this, do that? Those are aftermath scenario. Like I don't know. They might get caught, they might, but we don't even want you to be the
In that
victim at all.
situation.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even about they're gonna get, because yeah, definitely they might get caught. But why would you even, we want you not to even be part of that. Okay.
Yep.
So prevention is what, that's the main reason why we are here tonight, really talking about this. Okay. So so yeah, it is doable. Like they do that. They
Okay.
can
All right.
sell your house while you are there if you don't know how it works, and if you are not vigilant about your property. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Ibrahim. I purposely bring that questions up because I don't want our audience to feel relaxed, like, oh, I live in my house, nobody can touch my house. No, this happened to the house that you are actually living in. So as much as it can happen to a vacant house or a house that you buy in another city, as much as it can happen to vacant land, it can happen to your house as well. So that
Mhm.
is why I brought up that question. And thank you, Ibrahim. You actually kill it. So moving forward, what I'm going to start with is pretty much my area, which is property management, there has been tons of scam lately.
Wow.
I actually
Wow.
have a Nigerian woman, that lady, I should say, that called me and said she just got scammed on
Zero.
Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook. So she just got scammed on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, what? How does it happen? And she explained. So one thing about these people is they know how to pressurize you into a quick sending them money. Ask me how I know. I'm going to explain how I know that later down the line because I've been a victim of this as well uh, before now. So they are very good in pressurizing you into sending them money right now. Like, hey, we have a lot of people that are trying to see this house. If you can send us $500, then we can hold this house for you. If not, we're just going to go with whoever can do that. So you, as a desperate someone that is looking for a house, what will you do? You want this house, you like it, it is too good to be true. The house in this neighborhood is going for 1,500. This guy is trying to rent this out for you at 1,100. So that is how they catch people. They pressurize you. They create a scenario of urgency for you to send the money quickly. And so it is not only in selling of the house, it's actually happening in renting as well. So whenever you want to rent a house, it is very common on Facebook Marketplace, it is common on Craigslist, and it is common on Zillow. Redfin and Realtor.com, not so much. I'm not advocating for any platform right now. Don't quote me on that it doesn't happen on other factors, but these are the places that me personally have seen people and have people complain to me about. So that is why I mentioned those platforms. So if you go on those platforms, be careful. I'm not saying don't use them. There are deals on there that are really, really true deal, right? But do your due diligence. Don't just pay someone you don't know offline. Make sure you go to that property physically, and if possible, ask for what's it called, owner documentation. This is one thing that every government agency always asks for when it comes to housing or renting out house from you, because they want to make sure it's your house before they pay you any money. So you can ask as a private tenant as well. You can ask the person trying to rent, either property manager, like you want to see. Another safe thing is property manager probably have checked if this person is the owner of the house. So if someone called me up and they say, oh, I want to lease my house with you, or I want you to manage my house, the first thing I request is the deed of the house. I want to see if the person I'm actually talking to is the owner of the house. So you don't just assume. So that is another advantage of going through property manager. I know a lot of people like private owner, but going through property manager in this case might be a leverage for you, and it might provide you a safe area in order not to fall victim of all these scammers. So renter is also renters are also getting scammed. So whenever it is too good to be true, it is probably is. So you want to be extra careful and make sure the house you are inquiring about is actually physically there where they said it is. Go there and make sure you go and check the inside. So that is one of the ones I want to mention. The other one is wiring fraud. This is done by the professionals, the people that can actually hack the real estate attorney system. They can actually hack the closing escrow company system and coin an email that look just like their email, but it's not. It's probably missing something. So when you want to close on a house and they send you a wiring information, make sure you call the escrow company. Make sure you call the title company. Make sure you call the real estate attorney and verify the wiring information is from them. Or call your real estate agent. They will know because they will be copying that information. You know, so make sure you call the title company and, hey, do you guys just send me a wiring information? Okay, if yes, can you repeat the information for me? And cross-check, make sure it matches what you receive. A lot of time, 9 out of 10, when title company is sending you a wiring information, it's going to be in encrypted email. So it's going to be in encrypted email. So when someone sends something randomly to you, it's not encrypted. It's just what the wiring information, the bank information. That is something that you need to check out and make sure it is not a scam. So these are ways that these guys work, and they literally forge every document that they need to get you cross that line and send that money to them. And once they receive that money, that is it. Once you wire the money out of your account, it's only God. From there, the bank will tell you they can't do anything because you gave them that information to wire your money to. So they can't really do much. It's now left to you, and looking for FBI, looking for. It's just a pay. These are our hard-earned money, and a lot of us, this will be our biggest investment of our lifetime. So it is really crucial that we take that extra step of making sure you know who you are sending the money to. Before you send the money, call and verify. When you are sending the money, call and verify. After you send the money, call and verify. Make sure the title company, the title real estate attorney give you a receipt for that wiring. That, okay, we receive your money and you are good to go to close. Okay, so the next one is pretty much what Ibrahim mentioned earlier, application documentation. So if you are presenting any documentation in real estate transaction with the intent that this document is not true, or with the intent that, okay, this is not true today, it's going to be true in the future or something, that is still it is considered a fraud. But Ibrahim already explained that to us, so I'm just going to skip it. Another one is actually someone stealing your house from you, pretty much. So this one is titled fraud. What they do is they legitimately, let me point this out. This can be easily done on houses that doesn't have any mortgage on it. So if your house doesn't have a mortgage on it, it is even at more risk when it comes to title fraud. So they quick claim. What quick claim means, like, I'm transferring my house that doesn't have any mortgage on to Ibrahim. We are not, it's not buying it from me. I'm giving it to him like a gift or something. So would they quick claim that house to a business, and they take a loan against that house because there's no mortgage on it. There's no extra layer of it. So that is another thing about having a mortgage on a house. It gives you extra layer of security because the mortgage needs to be paid off for the house to get for you to be able to sell the house. So now all those extra due diligence might reveal their identity, their scamming scheme. So they don't usually go through that whenever it has a mortgage on it. But that doesn't mean it is not doable. Because the mortgage that you have, what they care about is what? Their money back. Once they receive their money, they can go. And your equity now go to these scammers, which is not you. So it can still happen without with you having a mortgage on the house. But what I'm saying is, it is very, very easy to do if you don't have any mortgage on your house. So the title fraud is they move your house from your name to a random business name, and they take a loan against that house. So now you will be responsible for loan that you don't even know how it originated, how it happens. So some of them might sell the house. They can now, from that business, they can quick claim again to their name. But a lot of time they don't want to go through that stress. As long as they are successful from quick claiming the deed from your name, to that business, to that first business name, what they do is they just hammer that house with a law. Now you are stuck with the loan that you didn't initiate, you know nothing about, and you have to pay or you lose your house. So these guys are very, very smart in a very bad way. And this is something that happens every single day, and it keeps increasing. The next one is pretty much similar. It's really similar to the rental scam that I discussed earlier, which is foreclosure fraud. Listen to me carefully. If you are in foreclosure, there is a regulation that states that even if someone wants to save you from that foreclosure, you don't have to pay them first before they do it. They can save you, have a contract, and you pay them afterward. But you can because think about it. You are in foreclosure process or pre-foreclosure because you can't pay. So the government know that it is hard on you already. So they set up that regulation to prevent you from even paying more unnecessary money until you are fully sure that your house is secure. Now, what these guys does, because they know a lot of people don't know this regulation exists, right? They pressure you into, okay, we can save your house for you, but you have to pay us a down payment of 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. As desperate as you are, probably the amount you are owing on the house, the amount you are defaulting on is about 20,000. These guys ask you to bring 2,000. That sounds too good to be true. 20 to 2. And they tell you, okay, we're going to get everything clear from your name. Don't worry about it. Just pay us this 2,000 and we will help you. It is a fraud. I work foreclosures. I know the step to get you out of foreclosures. One of the criteria is we cannot collect money from you until we get you out of that foreclosure. Even if we are going to buy the house from you, the first thing is we have to save you from that foreclosure first. If I get any money from you first, I'm breaking the law. It is actually a law. So if anybody is pressuring you when you are in foreclosure to give them money before they help you, they are breaking law, one. Secondly, it is wrong. Because you are in that tight spot because something happens and you can't pay already. So they are even inflicting more suffering on you by asking you to pay before they save you. So that happened a lot, and because of our desperation and emotion, we are bound to fall for it. Like I said, you are owing 20,000, they ask you for 2,000 to clear everything out. So it makes logical sense. This last one is the one that happens to me. And before, it is called predatory lending. Predatory lending. I was going to buy a house, and few days to closing, my lender back out. Now I am in a desperate condition. I am in a desperate situation. Now I have to find another lender, which is the exact situation that these guys are looking for. The perfect scenario for them is they want you to be desperate before they even approach you, so that everything they are asking you to do, you just jump on it without even thinking twice if this is a grenade, if this is a trap for you or anything like that. So I needed another lender to come in and close on that house, or I lose my down payment of 5,000. I almost gave up, but I have someone that is like, no, you are not going to give up on this. Let's keep trying another. So we are looking for lender. I reached out to this guy, random guy, and even with my experience, I didn't look him up. I just, he has a lending, what is this called? This NMSA or whatever they use, the lending number that they usually have. He send a letter to me on his letter ID. Everything is just so perfect with them. When you are working with them, everything is look absolutely all right, unless you look closely. If you look closely, you probably will find something on there. So this guy reached out to me. I called him. He didn't pick up. Then he called me back, and it's like, oh, I was in the meeting. So they do everything intentionally, just to make sure you see them as a real person, as a real professional. This is what they do. So he actually didn't pick my call, and like 2 or 3 minutes later, he called me back, and it's like, oh, I listened to your voicemail. It looks like your lender back out. Or how can I help you? I can get you the approval that you needed. I can get you this. I can get you that. And I'm like, okay, we cannot do inspection on this house. Are you able to do drive-through inspection? Ibrahim, you know what I mean by the drive-through, because you do it yourself. So are you able to do drive-through inspection? And it's like, oh, yeah. But to be able to do that, we need $500 down to pay the person that is going to drive through. For some reason, it doesn't occur to me like, okay, as a lender, this is supposed to come out during escrow. Everything's supposed to be laid down in escrow. And I just like, okay, where can I send the money? Instead of him giving me his bank details, he sent me Zelle instead. So there are layers that it is very, very obvious. I could have suspected there's something wrong with this. But through the desperation that I just want to close on this house, I don't want to lose my 5,000 down payment. And they already see through that, because this is what they do. They are scammers. They already see through that. They already know you are desperate. The way you are calling them, banging their phone, hey, can you send this? Can you? They know you are desperate. And that is the perfect condition that they want. For me, giving me 500 to losing 5,000 is nothing. Like I said earlier on, they will promise you something huge with change, with little money, to make you feel comfortable to send that money to them. They don't want you to break bank for them. They just want to get you in their hand and squeeze the little they can get from you and run away. So that is how I send that money to him. And the guy that, if I call him, he pick up my phone and everything, just become the guy that I call 10 times before he pick up one time. He's going to say, I'm going to send it tomorrow. It's not going to send anything. Until I later now come back to my senses, like, hold on, wait a minute. Why do I send sale to him, not to his bank account? Why do I do this, not this? So I started questioning the action I've taken, then started looking him up, like typing his name, typing phone number that we used to communicate in Google, try to search something on him. And this guy is a serial scammer. He has been scamming a lot of people. A lot of people have written bad review about him. These are the steps I should have taken before I send any money or even reach out to him. But guess what? This is why Do the Talk podcast is unique, because we are telling you things that we have been through for you not to experience the same thing. If you don't know there's a mortgage fraud, now you know. These guys scammed me $500. I'm talking about last year. It's not something that it's been like long like that, or I don't have the experience, or I don't know what I'm doing, or something like that. I am an actual investor when I get scammed. Think about it. I do this every day, not to talk of someone that buy maybe one house every 10 years or every 5 years. So everybody is prone to this. We are bringing this to you just so you can recognize the perfect condition that these guys are looking for. They want you to be desperate. They want you to be in a tight corner that you have nowhere to turn to. And that is a perfect scenario for them to scam you. And when it is too good to be true, it is probably too good to be true. So you need to verify everything. If I had checked this guy's information before I send him money, I probably will not fall victim of this scam. So predatory lending is actually real. If anybody is saying, okay, the actual rate right now is about 6 point something, and it's promising you 3% APR, that is too good to be true. Without buying it down, without anything, they are promising to give it for you 3.5 APR for free. Who does that? No one. So if you are hearing things like that, you probably want to verify, check again and again and again, and continue checking until you can find something on them. And you don't even have to look so deep to find anything on these guys, because it is what they do. If only you can Google and do some little research, driving by the property, calling the title company, calling escrow attorney, closing attorney, and all that, you probably will be able to avoid their trap. You probably will be able to avoid their scam. So with all this information, I hope we are able to equip you with all the necessary knowledge and all. See, if it is going to happen to you, the basic principle is they will be pressurizing you, and the information they are giving you is probably going to be good to be true. Like a house that is worth 200,000, someone telling you they want to sell it uh, for 80,000. Nothing is wrong with the house. The house is not distressed in any way. They just want to sell it for 80,000. That is too good to be true. So if you do your digging, there's probably something with it. So Ibrahim, what do you think? Uh, One or two things that our audience can do in the future to get them out of this if they find themselves in this situation. You are muted.
Thank you for letting me know. I honestly, I didn't realize my mic was muted. So, if you, first of all, we don't pray for anyone to get into this kind of bad, unpleasant scenario, because most of the time it is too late when you've been scammed already. And um, of course, it's going to teach you for the future, but we actually want to teach you here at Do the Talk. That way you don't
Yeah.
have to, you know, because it's something preventable. It's just that the way these people, excuse me, they are trained to leverage on your weakness. So they create this urgency. I may already elaborate on that. I don't have to go too deep in that, but they create, that urgency, and they try to make you feel like you are missing out if you don't, or you going to missing out if you don't go for it. You know, um, and so what I would say is that when you are triggered by someone to take an action, especially when it is a pressured or an urgent action, I want you to take a deep, deep breath and try to sleep over it just for a night and see if something will change. Because at that moment, what they are doing is really they are tapping into your emotion. They want to kind of control you subconsciously, like creating some kind of, that urgency, like, okay, don't miss this, don't miss on this and that, and but if you can find a way to give yourself, just 12 hours, try to tell them, okay, yeah, yeah, I got you, I'm gonna make an action, just give me to tomorrow morning or this or that, you'll be surprised overnight that trap that they are setting for you, or that urgency they are creating, you might be able to develop a kind of out of the box reasoning that will trigger something like, okay, hold on, why is he asking me to do this when he told me this or that? Because sometimes they make some mistakes, just like
Yep.
the person asked Ahmed to Zell.
Yep.
It was successful because it was able to create that urgency. And I don't think that's just the major problem. The major problem with what Ahmed explained, it was because Ahmed already experienced a disappointment already. If
Yep.
it wasn't because of the disappointment, he might be able to, you know, think through the zeal and everything. But at that point, the disappointment already created that, oh, everything is going south. I have to correct this real quick. I have my,
Yep.
he's probably working with time. He needs to get this done, in a particular time. So that disappointment already kind of slowed everything down. So at that point, what he cares about is to get the loan done, not even thinking about the route that the scammer is asking him to send the money through, you know. So if you look at it, anybody can fall victim of that. So, but next time, what anyone, in case you come across something like this, is to tell that person that, okay, I'm gonna send the money, but give me till, maybe in the next 5 hours or 2 hours, or I'll send it tomorrow because tonight I have to do something. I'll send it tomorrow. I got you, and see if something can pop up. Try to think through everything. Like, okay, so I'm gonna get the house. I'm gonna file this, or I'm gonna send the document to him. Okay, so now how do I send the money to him? Zelle, okay, and try to see if you can think through that. Maybe there's another channel that you feel like is appropriate. So try to see if something will come up. Or the best way actually is to try to reach out to someone else. Okay. The first example, or the first advice I'm giving you, it's when you don't really, maybe you don't talk to people like that, you don't know who to call, or you just want to figure it out yourself, because some people are so personal and they don't like to share. Okay,
Yep.
make sure you do your assignment. But if you are the type that have people around you, the best thing is actually narrate the whole scenario to someone else, and try to pick up their brain and see if they can come up with something or detect something that you are unable. The reason why you are unable is not because you're not smart or anything. It's because you are, maybe you are currently experiencing a disappointment from someone else relating to the same thing. Now you found someone that acted like he or she's gonna help you to solve that same problem, and the time is against you. Time is of essence at that time. So you won't see the tactics or the leverage that person is trying to pull on you, just because he or she realized that you are desperate, you need this to be done quickly. So, but the third party, he or she did not hear the conversation. He or she is not under any pressure. The person is just there. Try now. The person has that full mind, full undiluted and a focused mind to really think through it. Just because he or she is not in that spot, he or she is not feeling that pressure that you are feeling, because you are the one that owns the property, owns the land, owns the asset. So what am I getting to? I'm saying you might be able to get someone that will kind of help you on that. And by the way, I recommend that person should be a real estate professional. It's even better that way, because if you involve a real estate professional instead of regular people, you might, there's a high chance that you won't get scammed. If you involve regular person, if the person is not really engaged into that conversation, because sometimes we have other stuff that we are thinking and we don't have time to really scan everything and think through it. But if you talk to a real estate professional, that person feels like you are consulting, you are hoping that it's like a burden on that person to really give you a good advice, especially if you ask a responsible and good one. So where am I going? I think the best thing, when you come, if you come across this kind of scenario, talk to a real estate professional. It can be a realtor, another loan officer, or anyone that is into this business. Let them know that, okay, you want to get a loan, but someone is telling you this and that, and they tell you to sell money to Zelle, and you cannot omit any information. You cannot say, oh, I found somebody, they want to do the loan for 4%, and even though I know the loan is 7%, and you stop at that, like just stop, like no, because now you're not given the whole information. You only tell that person about the interest rate, and this person will probably tell you, oh, I don't think so, that's very low, but that's it. Now that's it. You didn't say the other part of, oh, he asked me to send money to so place. So in that case, you might miss out because you didn't give that person the full information. So he or she won't be able to tell you do it or not. Okay. So where am I getting to? When you're trying to get advice from someone, you have to come out with the whole scenario and explain it, give out the full detail of what is going on, what you are experiencing, because you don't want to skip anything, which might be the critical part of the whole thing. Because all the thing I made explain, the guy is not interested in anything. What he's interested in is that zeal. But he has to he has to make it look like, okay, all that stuff is the most important stuff of it. I mean, part of it. All he cares about is sell me the money, that's it. But he knows to get the money, he has to act like he's the professional. He's the one that will make the loan work. He's the one that will close in a week or two. He's the one that will get him the best interest rate. He's the one that will, So, guys, what we are saying is try to reach out to people that are doing, that have knowledge of what you are trying to do or what you are planning to do. When you come across anything that is tricky, confusing, not straightforward, or too good to be true, talk to someone that has that knowledge, or that is doing that, or is experiencing that the same thing that you're about to get into. Okay, Ahmed, I don't know if I answer your question. It's really a tough one, but I definitely know that it is preventable. And if you talk to people, people can help you navigate that kind of challenging situation if it ever occurred to anyone. Okay, so
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good one. Like I said, if uh, you can just diffuse that moment of urgency and sit back, you will be able to see through it, which you mentioned. Also, I'm a very big advocate of talking to people whenever I run into problem. So that is the same thing Ibrahim is explaining to us. Like, make sure you talk to someone that know the process, not just a regular person, someone that is close to you that know the process and don't hide anything. So, which is critical. Anyway, that concludes every our episode today. Thank you guys for joining. Ibrahim, if someone wants to reach out to you, they want to sell their house, they want to buy a new house, they want to ask you real estate question, how can they reach out to you?
yes, I will encourage anyone who is interested in buying, building, or selling home. Go to ibrealtors.us. You can call me, message me. When you go to the website, you'll be able to see different homes here in Indy, and just reach out to me. I will, you know, call you back or pick a call right away. If I miss your call, I'll call you right away. You can text me. You can DM me on ibrealtors.us on Instagram. Also on WhatsApp 317-728-0213. Ahmed, how can they reach out to you, please?
Absolutely. You can reach me on 765-240 7932 or reach me on official Hamed Lawal. Thank you guys for joining us today, and we will see you next week. Bye.